Chapter 27 I am the biggest weakness. Lin Moyu completely understood. The biggest weakness of the skeleton army with him at its core is itself. If there is a powerful enemy, give up entanglement with the skeleton warrior and instead keep attacking yourself. That would also be dangerous. Damage transfer is not a panacea either. Now that he knows his weaknesses, Lin Moyu will naturally find ways to make up for them. The Goblin King's body was ripped apart, and blood was pouring down like raindrops. It is 6 or 7 meters tall, and now there are skeleton warriors on its shoulders, back, chest, and even its head. A radiant light erupted from the Goblin King's body. He jumped up violently, and then fell heavily on the ground. With the roar, all the skeleton warriors on his body were blown away. Even the skeleton warriors on the ground were shaken back. Skill, shock back. Then the Goblin King's eyes also glowed, and he opened his mouth wide, spraying out flames. The flames burned the skeleton warrior. Lin Moyu felt that the vitality of the 4 skeleton warriors was rapidly disappearing, and they were on the verge of death. With a heartbeat, the 4 skeleton warriors were immediately taken back to the summoning space. The flames of the Goblin King were still spraying out, preventing the skeleton warriors from approaching. His skills must be interrupted. A flame also appeared on Lin Moyu's palm. Soul Flame. The flames fell silently onto the Goblin King's head. The Goblin King suddenly let out a terrifying scream, and the flame spray was interrupted immediately. The Soul Flame ignores defense and directly causes spiritual damage. Attack power is determined by skill level and mental strength. Although Lin Moyu's spiritual power is only 400 points, and the skill level is only level 11, but after the 20-fold increase, the attack power of the Soul Flame cannot be underestimated. The skeleton warriors quickly surrounded them and continued to attack desperately. Lin Moyu continued to use the Soul Flame to attack the Goblin King, preventing him from using his skills normally. A minute later, the Goblin King fell to the ground unwillingly. Kill the King of Goblins, experience plus 40,000, obtain a bronze-level weapon, the Dagger of the Goblin King. Obtain bronze-level armor and Robe of Knowledge. Obtain the Crystal Nucleus of the Goblin King. At the same time as the prompt appeared, Lin Moyu's body also emitted an upgrade light. Finally reached level 12. It only took a little more than an hour to brush the nightmare-level dungeon alone, which allowed him to upgrade by more than 1 level. Very efficient. Lin Moyu checked his harvest. Goblin King's Dagger, bronze level, strength plus 10, dexterity plus 10, assassin skills increase by 3%, available after level 12. Knowledge Robe, bronze level armor, spirit plus 10, constitution plus 10, shortens the cooldown time of mage skills by 5%, available after level 12. The dagger is useless to Lin Moyu, so he just put it away and can sell it for money after returning. My profession is a necromancer, so it should also belong to the mage profession. However, my skills are different from other mage skills. There is no cooldown time, so it seems useless. Add 10 points to the spirit and physical fitness, which is not bad. After all, it is only level 12 equipment, so the requirements cannot be too high. Lin Moyu immediately put on the Robe of Knowledge, increasing his spirit and physique by 10 points each. In addition to the equipment, there is also the Crystal Nucleus of the Goblin King. The Goblin King's Crystal Nucleus is larger than that of low-level monsters, and it is also more beautiful. It's as red as a ruby, and you can feel the warmth coming from it when you hold it in your hand. Obviously, this Crystal Nucleus is very unusual. The crystal core can be exchanged for 100,000 gold coins when it is taken back to the exchange. Lin Moyu had a little surprise in his heart. The crystal nucleus is more valuable than the 2 pieces of equipment. Mental power is fully restored after upgrading. Lin Moyu immediately summoned 4 skeleton warriors. The skill of summoning skeleton warriors has been upgraded to level 12, and the summoning requirement has also reached 110 points of spiritual power. Although he now has 510 points of spiritual power, he can still only summon 4 of them. The bronze skeleton warriors who have reached level 12 have all four-dimensional attributes as high as 3,800 points, and the number has reached 60. In this dungeon, you can come and go freely. With a good mood, Lin Moyu walked into the instance exit. Lin Moyu suddenly appeared at the entrance of the instance. His appearance immediately attracted everyone's attention. The key to attracting attention is the skeleton warrior he carries. Skeleton warriors are so special. With a cold and evil look and a terrifying appearance, the timid people will not consciously turn their heads and dare not look at it. He's out. I didn't expect him to come out alive. Could it be that he really just brushed the dungeon? There are only a handful of dungeons who can make a single dungeon. I think this kid is a sucker. No, look at the clothes he is wearing. Does it look like a robe of knowledge? Really, it's really a robe of knowledge. It's unbelievable that the big guy who can do a copy alone is right in front of my eyes. Lin Moyu didn't care what other people said. The dungeon has entered a cooldown period, and it takes 12 hours to enter again. There was a trip to the dungeon, and he was no longer interested in farming wild monsters. That experience is too little. Killing more than 10 is not as good as killing one in the dungeon. It's too troublesome to find monsters everywhere. The 12-hour cooling time is just right for meditation to restore mental strength, and you can also summarize the gains from this dungeon trip. Lin Moyu walked aside silently, found a place where no one was around and sat down. A skeleton warrior stood faithfully beside him, guarding him. This dungeon trip has an unusual meaning for him. The most important thing is to let him understand where his weaknesses lie. Also understand the use of skills. If the corpse burst is used well, it is an unparalleled attacking skill. The soul flame can interrupt the enemy's skills, and the spiritual attack that ignores the defense is very powerful. Even the nightmare boss can hardly bear it. Lin Moyu summed up the experience and sorted out the gains and losses. Chapter 28 Dynasty Guild. Goblin King Ring. Lin Moyu sat and meditated, with skeleton warriors standing by his side. There were more than 100 people at the gate of the dungeon, and no one dared to approach Lin Moyu. The main reason is that Lin Moyu's skeleton warrior is too scary. It's frightening to look at. That's fine, no one bothers you. Lin Moyu just waited for the cooling time to pass, and could enter the instance again after 12 hours. Mental strength is gradually restored during meditation. When you enter the instance next time, you can summon 4 skeleton warriors again. As night fell, Lin Moyu finished his meditation, and his mental strength had almost recovered. Pile after pile of bonfires were born at the entrance of the copy, and many people gathered around the bonfire and roasted meat. The aroma of the meat is pervasive, and the aroma is more intense after sprinkling with seasonings. These people often hang out in the field. All of them are very experienced and well prepared. Unlike Lin Moyu, he only brought some sweet potatoes when he went out. Stomach protested. Lin Moyu wanted to take out sweet potatoes to eat. Noticing that the sweet potatoes were gone, he realized that all the sweet potatoes were given to Ningyi. Thinking of Ningyi's naughty and cute appearance, Lin Moyu couldn't help showing a little smile. Instead, he took out the steamed stuffed bun and ate it bite by bite. "Brother, do you want to come over and have some food?" Someone waved to Lin Moyu. They were roasting unknown meat. The meat was very fragrant. Is a young man in his 20s. Judging by his attire, he should be an assistant. Lin Moyu shook his head slightly, declining his kindness. He didn't insist either, and ate the barbecue by himself. "I said Wangi, why did you call him?" "That's right, this is a weirdo. He hasn't spoken since he got here. And the undead summoner beside him is a bit scary. A young man named Wangi has a different opinion. I think he is normal, but he doesn't like to talk. And look at him, although he didn't speak, he never provoked others. I don't think he's as difficult to get along with as you think." Wang Yikit also put a large piece of barbecued meat on a plate, and walked up to Lin Moyu. "Brother, let's eat a piece of meat, how about just eating buns?" Lin Moyu looked at him and didn't speak. Wang Yi smiled kindly, put the plate in front of Lin Moyu, and left. Under the detection technique, there is no problem with grilling meat. Lin Moyu slowly picked up the barbecue and took a bite. The barbecue tastes good and is very fragrant. Not far away, Wang Yi also held a piece of meat to Lin Moyu, with a sunny smile on his face. At this moment, Lin Moyu felt that his smile was somewhat similar to that of Gao Yang. After filling his stomach, Lin Moyu entered the state of meditation again. With the skeleton warrior by his side, he doesn't have to worry about safety. The 12-hour dungeon cooldown finally passed, and Lin Moyu's mental power was fully restored. This time, it should be able to rise to level 13. He got up and saw that the door of the copy was full of people. Two gangs appear to be facing off. A group of people stood at the entrance of the dungeon, completely blocking the entire entrance of the dungeon, preventing anyone from approaching. Wearing uniforms and holding sophisticated weapons, they looked like an army. Those who confronted them were people who were originally outside the copy. Although there were a lot of people, they looked scattered, and they couldn't compare to the other party in terms of momentum. Your dynasty guild is too domineering. Why don't you let us enter the copy? That's right, why, the copy is not yours. It won't affect you if we enter the copy. Many people protested. A mage with a staff came out of the dynasty guild. Our young president is completing the task in the dungeon, and you are not allowed to enter the dungeon until his task is completed. Why? Your dynasty guild is too domineering. Professionals protested one after another, but no one dared to do it. The main reason is that the dynasty guild is too strong and they dare not mess with it. Wang Yi was also among the protesting crowd. His sunny smile disappeared and was replaced by anger. Lin Moyu walked over and came to Wang Yi's side. What's wrong? When Wang Yi saw Lin Moyu, he didn't expect Lin Moyu to speak. Surprised, Wang Yi whispered, the young leader of the dynasty guild wants to do tasks in the dungeon, so we won't be allowed in. Lin Moyu had doubts in his eyes. Is there any task that needs to block the copy? Wang Yi also saw Lin Moyu's doubts. It's like this, they need the Goblin King's crystal core. The drop rate of this crystal core is not high, only in nightmare level dungeons, and it will drop after 100 days fall once. You should have seen this mission in the exchange, right? This mission was actually issued by the Dynasty Guild. But no one has ever completed this task. It's ridiculous to say that the crystal core of the Goblin King is not comparable to ordinary crystal cores. It is worth at least 300,000 gold coins. They can buy it if they want 100,000. Who will sell it to them? It's been exactly 100 days since the last drop today, and this time the Dynasty Guild will do it by itself. What a coincidence. The Goblin King's crystal nucleus in his storage space is as dazzling as a ruby. This time the Dynasty Guild will inevitably return without success. Originally, Lin Moyu thought about selling the Goblin King's crystal nucleus for 100,000 gold coins when he went back 2 days later. Listening to Wang Yi now, it is obvious that the Goblin King's crystal nucleus is not simple. What's the use? Lin Moyu asked in a low voice. The crystal nucleus of the Goblin King can be processed by an alchemist into a Goblin King ring. The Goblin King's ring increases all attributes by 10, and all skills are upgraded by 1 level. It can be used at level 15. It is known as the strongest jewelry below level 40. Such a strong attribute is indeed very powerful. Especially when all skills are upgraded by 1 level. For novice professionals, they are like gods. Wang Yi continued, it is said that the young president of the Dynasty Guild is going to be admitted to Xiajing Academy, so he is determined to get this piece of equipment. There is no shortage of alchemists in the Dynasty Guild, and other materials have also been prepared. What is missing now is the crystal nucleus of the Goblin King. Knowing the cause and effect, Lin Moyu smiled and walked towards the entrance of the instance. He doesn't care about any Dynasty Guilds, anyway, it's not good to hinder him from leveling.